So the way that I look at it, the collective, this is a sanctuary. It's this year-long integrative journey into self-mastery, alignment, spiritual alignment, nervous system regulation, and embodiment practices that we're weaving gently into real life. So we move together as a community with different wisdom teachings, different offerings from different people, myself. We have movement, astrology, ritual, inner exploration, experienced as a living whole. And this work is designed to live in your body, in your relationships, your choices, and your everyday moments. So really just what's important to understand is that this container supports a transformation because change unfolds over time. And it's supported through consistency, like I said, through nervous system regulation, daily touch points. We also have community support and embodied integration. Because growth follows its own rhythm. And meaningful change benefits from a space that can really hold it long enough to settle. Sometimes I think of myself as this extraordinary, like I have a strong feminine energy and I feel her and she's sometimes like, and all I know is that when I have this sense of a strong container, so I can be fluid and be chaos and be this wonderful energy of creation with this support, I feel so much steadier. And so that's the essence of so much of why I wanted to make sure that that's what this space creates. So one of the most important things to understand about the SPL Collective is that we move in the rhythm with life instead of going against it. So over the year, we move through seasons, right? Initiations, right? Growth, integration, rest, renewal. So the work, it's going to meet you where you are instead of asking you to be the same all year. For me, I like when people, they come to one of my classes and then they come to another one, they're like, is it going to be the same? I'm like, oh God, like I couldn't possibly do that. Like even when I went to audition for a TED Talk and they were like, you have to memorize this and do exactly the same. And I was like, okay, I'm out. Like for me, that doesn't work for me. It's real life is to be in the changes as we're becoming. So this allows growth to land not only intellectually, somatically. So it really becomes how you live, not just what you understand. So how inside the collective feels. All right, I'll walk you through a month inside the collective so you can have an understanding because it's designed to meet you daily, not through obligation though. It's through availability. So some days you'll join a live call, some days you'll open the vault, which I'll talk about, and that'll be first your own personal short reset. Some days you'll share a win, you'll ask questions, and some days you'll just simply witness someone else in their own process. So the more you engage intentionally, the more work weaves into your real life, and that's just the reality of life. And it's weaving into your body, into your relationships, your decisions, and who you be in the world. So this is a live with it space. So what you get is you get a core teaching or a lecture call with me each month. And this will be a specific theme that you can take and you can integrate it into your life. And we'll open for some questions along the way and anything like that. So whether that's actually like a tool we're weaving in together or a few tools in one thing or a theme we're talking about, it's in essence for you to be able to take back into your life. Also, we're going to have one monthly astrology call. And what I mean by this is this, and we're going to have other special calls, but when you think about the astrology is that currently, right, there are things happening astrologically in the world. You don't have to be savvy at all in astrology, by the way. What we're going to do is basically we're going to talk about one concept, this one energy that's playing out, and it's happening right now and somewhere in your life. And what we're going to find is where in your life it's playing out so you can really hone in and you can understand it, right? So if you know it's happening in your area of relationships and you're like, whoa, for 14 years I have been going through that and I'm about to go through a big change. Wow, I want to be as prepared as possible. That's what we're doing. So those calls are specifically designed to support you with real time what's happening. And again, like I'm all about teaching someone to fish instead of giving them a fish sandwich. So it's like I want to give you as many tools so that to support you in navigating because it's your personal interpretation while you have support. Does that make sense? Do I need to clarify anything? I just want to check in with that quick. Okay. Then we're also going to have live sacred pauses. Now, I know that some of you know that I do this once a week, and that's live on YouTube. What we're going to be doing, and again, it's you join when you can. So I'm going to be offering more, and we're going to have a WhatsApp group, which I'll talk about. Basically, it's like, I'm going live, you guys, like who can jump on, and we're going to do anything from breath work, seated meditation, movement, like actual physical movement, moving our bodies and getting into our bodies and stretching. It could be just moving around. It could be anything. So the intention is to, again, get yourself familiar with stopping your life and allowing yourself to be intentional about you, so you can clear out what's not. Clear out what you don't need, and then you can move on with your day with greater intention. So you're just kind of having these moments to drop in. Anything that we create, and that's the beauty of this launch too, just starting, thing we're creating, we are recording everything for you to have access to it at a later date. So if you don't join it live, if you do join it live, you still will have access to it. And that's going to go into something that I'll talk about as well. So alongside our core teachings and practices, I'm a very fast talker, so please tell me to slow down if you need. I get very, very excited. We also hold a series for intentional conversations with practitioners. I have a sniffer for talent. Even when I created Hanuman Yoga and Music Festival in Boulder, one of the reasons why I wanted to do it was create a platform for up-and-coming teachers. That's so much of what this is. I feel like I am surrounded by some of the most extraordinary luminaries, and I'm bringing some of them in, and that will continue to grow as well. So these practitioners will offer specific modalities, not to overwhelm you with tools, to help you understand how these practices are actually lived and integrated into your life. So these conversations are rooted in embodiment, pleasure, practicality, all those things we've talked about so far. Human design, which that's going to be led with my coach and teacher, Abby Rebecca, and that's learning how to work with your energy in a way that supports ease and alignment. She's an extraordinary coach and works with high-level women. Also, discover your sensual vitality with Agni Miguel, who is somebody that I met about 7 years ago, and she just blows my mind with the way that she lives on this path so deliberately and graciously, and she guides people in exploring into awakening their sensuality, their feeling of aliveness, and really in that embodied presence of that creative essence and sense of like life in themselves. Then we have live emotional freedom techniques, EFT, although sometimes they will be live at first, and we're going to always record them. And that's by Kamaria or Mari Hill. And emotional freedom techniques supports emotional regulation and nervous system ease. That definitely is a fantastic tool. So that's going to be just something that you can come on and just do it in 5-10 minutes and bring you back to yourself. And then we'll have body connection and movement sessions. So these will be led by myself or Ollie, and we're going to help you land them somatically. So it's not just getting on to do a yoga class. It's going to be so much more deliberate about the what we're doing, the why we're doing it, and it's about lengthening the body, getting into the body, or strengthening the body from such a deep, deep, deep core level. As a 51-year-old woman, if you can take it off, Tor, as a 51-year-old woman, I am not the woman that I was when I was 40. So learning who I am now and how to be with my body now, and I want to have the kind of balance that I can put on a shoe without having to lean against a wall. I want to be able to walk down the street and not have to worry about if the road's going to slightly shift or if I slip on ice, right? Those kind of daily things. And so the who I be and the way I treat my body, or even to the point of our bodies evolving and changing as women, which we go into with the inner circle. But doing movements, and then we're going to suggest, right, certain things that you can get for your home, like small weights, bands, trampolines, things like that, because we'll bring those in if you want to bring those in, and on all the different benefits, like trampolining's fantastic for the lymphatic system, for your bone, for your pelvic floor, like all these things. And so we want to really start inviting these new, innovative, and fun ways that you don't have to go to the gym for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You can really, really, really create a beautiful connection with your body. So those will also be a part of it. And again, they're going to be in the system for you to be able to go back into. You'll also experience facilitated integration circles. So these are spaces to essentially metabolize what you're learning and where you're really grounding it into real life. And they'll be held initially by me and then later by a trusted facilitator. So these are specific conversations that we come to the table and it's for you to process. Because most of the conversations are going to be conversations where you have questions that you can ask. Mostly that will be written questions. But ultimately, these conversations, the integration, are for you to go, hey, this is what's coming up for me. And us for each holding space for each other. And then to get soft coaching back from me in those calls. So those are the live integration sessions that you get once a month. Along it, you also get any questions so far before I move on to the other goodies that you get? Okay. And it's a lot, and it's specifically designed to be a lot. That said, again, you do it at your pacing. And we can go over how it unfolds even more if you need to, a little bit more in detail. You do get a few different things just being a part of the collective. One of them is called Design Your Destiny, DYD. And that is it's already been recorded. And it's basically an orientation, so it helps you establish the sense of self-trust, clarity, and where we have a shared language. So it's a very foundational tool. You get 2 videos a month within the 3 months of the program. And you can watch them as quickly, as slow as you want. And that really is going to help you to have this information land in your body more. And there are PDFs in that experience as well for you to have downloads. There's questions for you to be going through, and so you'll have access to that throughout the entire program. You'll also have access to something called Consciously Create Your Reality, and that's delivered just gently through email. It's like an email system. You get every other day a new short lesson in your inbox with practical tools you can apply into your everyday life. This is a fantastic thing to use with people in your life that maybe don't speak this language. It's a wonderful way to support people in dipping their toe into living more consciously. And so these aren't like there to rush or complete. They're just here to be a part of the steady system and supporting the embodiment for you to feel really grounded and resourced in this work. Because us in this cohort, it's important to speak, in my opinion, the same language. We all have shared values. We're aligned in the way in which we're choosing to speak with and to each other. There's a sense of respect and the way that we operate in this shared space. And that's what those 2 programs really allow everyone to be on the same page with. So as soon as you get into the program, you automatically get those. The other thing you get are the vaults. And I love the vaults because it's like your on-demand library. So all aside this, you get this, and it's ever growing. We're constantly adding things into it. So this is where you just start to discover like what becomes your personal medicine. And I love to call it a spiritual wellness studio in your pocket. It's always available to meet you where you are. So what they are is it's the Astro Vault. So in there you're going to have all this different information, recorded calls and astrology, as well as PDFs. Sacred Temple for movement. So all of the movement videos and live calls will all go in there. Breath work, relationships, meditation, sacred pauses, and EFT vault. So that means if you're in the middle of your day and you're like, whoa, I'm feeling dysregulated, I need something, you go into the vault, EFT, boom. You know the facilitator, you know the language, you know the value system, you know the alignment of it. You have all of this right there to go to, and it's there for you, which will only be added on. It's very exciting. I'm very excited about the vaults. And then we have our held community. So one of the reasons why these containers exist, because many of us never really have, like we were talking about before, support while we're changing. And this is a held community. So we're connected with people that are also walking their paths of the becoming. So we have this is the intimate connection in WhatsApp. So inside of the collective, there are 2 WhatsApp spaces. One for announcements, resources and insights. So that's where it's just going, you won't be able to respond back to. It's just going to be like, here's a great YouTube on this, here's this, and da da da. So that's just coming real time. You have access to it. Maybe it's a meme, maybe it's a video, maybe it's an audio, maybe I'm sharing something with you. That's just for you to get just along the way. Then you have another shared community space for reflection, questions, wins, connection. And that's going to be monitored by Tori. And that's where we go on. We go, hey, I have a win today, you guys. I want to share it with you. Hey, this is really coming up for me. I feel super wobbly. And we get to hold each other, support each other. Sometimes you'll leave a video. Sometimes you'll leave an audio. Sometimes you'll write. Sometimes you'll write less than you do. And you'll just watch more and listen more. The whole key is to really keep the involvement going, because that's how it lives and breathes. It's really beautiful. And that's what, right now I'm in a group for this, for my own support, because I believe in walking the talk. And I find that when I engage in those groups, not only do I walk through life, I feel so inspired by the women that I'm in this group with. Like, so inspired. It's so awesome. And it's like in those moments when I'm like, wah, it kind of brings me back into myself. Okay, so I love to just talk about the inner circle, the sovereign woman. And this is really close to my heart. So this really came from just listening, from that place of just desiring. I've been doing this for a while deliberately, and my life became very small, and I was living very solo in this work. And I think that was safe for a few different reasons. If you could take that off for a second, Tor. I think it was safe for a few reasons, in the sense of where this intimate world of my connection with spirit and consciousness was kind of safe inward. And I think on a very ancestral level, it makes sense, because, I don't know, this is just my belief, that it wasn't safe to be the witch and the wise woman and the healer anymore. We got stoned or hung or burned for it. And now we finally, in a very safe time where more people are conscious and more people are awake, it's finally safe to be seen and be revealed. And so as I've been allowing myself to integrate back into the world as this conscious, wise woman, and choosing to live this conscious, having certain conversations, I really found this desire to do so with women. Because of what I had mentioned before. And that's why I ended up joining with my own coach in the container she created. And also just that there's this, I feel, it seems to me, this longing emerging, where it's almost like this deeper desire to trust the body again, to really live in a sense of self-honor that is so potent, and to experience intimacy that feels really loving, safe, joyful. And so that's what the Sovereign Woman, this 6-month intimate container, is created for. It's devoted to safety, intimacy, and self-honor. And it is open for women only to 8 women per cohort. It's a space for women whose bodies are changing, who are women navigating health, hormones, intimacy, power, and identity. For women who want to live in healthy feminine energy while holding healthy masculine structure. Oftentimes many of us are really, really, really good at doing shit. We get stuff done, we can tend, we're efficient, all these different things. I have also witnessed where that also creates a hardness or a competitive energy, or even making ourselves smaller. And so at the core, this work is very much about safety in the body and in the nervous system regulation. So responses come from clarity instead of reactivity, and choices feel grounded rather than rushed. And especially in this world, and as fast as we're moving, and so much that's available to us, learning how to slow down and to be soft and to allow ourselves to feel and create a space for intimacy with ourselves first, and then in relationship with others. So learning how to stay open without overgiving, connected without losing ourselves, and honest without fear, right? So we work on relationship patterns, relational patterns with men, with women, with yourself, so power doesn't turn into force, and softness doesn't have to turn into self-erasure either. And so we'll also tend to how this, we'll start to see how this shows up in our daily lives, like around relationship with our a relationship with our bodies, with food, with movement, and with self-care. So approaching all of it from a very deep self-respect rather than controlling or proving. So everything in that inner sovereign circle is designed to support women in being resourced, embodied, relational, and powerful without forcing, without collapsing. So the monthly rhythm for the sovereign women is we meet once a month for 2.5-hour live calls, just once a month. And the space includes, is by the way, just so you know, if you're in the inner circle, you automatically are in the collective. So that means you get to have access to everything that I've talked about before. Now, in addition to this, you also just get that 2.5-hour call with the 8 women, the one-on-one sessions, and we also do have another WhatsApp group specifically just for the inner circle. So I'll share all of the different ways to get, the different investments of these 2 different things that I'm talking about. I do want you to just know that is and I'll be doing a different call on that. This will not start until, right now we're shooting toward the end of March. So if that's something that you decide to do, there's time and you can enter the collective first, or just join that right away and wait, but you're still automatically in the collective because that collective starts first anyway. And you'll automatically get DYD and you'll automatically get CCYR, so nothing has to wait. And just so you know, I'm doing a 20-minute discovery call with every woman that's interested, because I want to make sure there's a level of commitment and a level of alignment that's there. This is not a place to compete. It's not a place to compare. This is a place to thrive. This is a place to celebrate. This is a place to feel safe in our wobbles, and that is huge. And it's not a place to come and coddle like, oh, I'm so sorry, and coddle, or let me fix you. That's not this space. And so that's what we do. We come together to hold and to be those steady rails for everyone. So the space, you will have time and space to reveal, to be heard, to also reflect and be seen. So that's the inner circle. And now, before we go on to the different ways to step into the ecosystem, right? So well, let's just dive into that, and I'll just tell you guys what it is, so we can just put those up, Tori. So with the pathways, here are the different tiers. So the collective, it is $444 a month, quarterly or paid in full. And so those that are paid in full get a copy of my book, Sacred Bookends, and also access to future immersions. Right now we're putting the first immersion together. Agni and I are going to be doing it together, and it's all on sensuality, pleasure, creativity, and opening up that whole second chakra, sexual energy, creative energy, designing our lives energy. And that's going to be in November, most likely in Mexico. So you get discounted access into those as well. And then right now, just so you know, the first season of the collective is going to be open all season long for people to join. After the first season, then we're going to only have quarterly openings. The reason why is I want to make sure everybody's speaking the same language. So at the beginning of the season, enrollment would open for 2 weeks, then it closes. It doesn't open again until the end of the next season. So just so you guys know, this whole first season, we are open. So if along the way you have a friend that you're like, let's do this, I really want to do this, I'm really enjoying this, they can join. That's not going to be a normal thing that we're having. So there's benefits to joining in the beginning, which I really dig, and also why we can keep the pricing as it is. And then tier 2, if you're interested in the SPL Inner Circle, the Sovereign Woman, that is either $888 a month or $4,800 paid in full for the 6 months. So this is the founding rate. It definitely will be going up, but that's because we're just in the beginning phases of it. And again, once you are part of that, you also get into the inner circle. Into the collective. So you get everything that you can get, that you get in that. I remember years ago, I was much younger, and I learned about like the Purple Hat Club or something like that, like women in their 70s that wear whatever they want to wear. They wear purple. They don't care what people think, and they're, just living their life. And I'm like, I don't want to wait until I'm 70. Like, I want to love my body now. I don't want to be at war with my body. I don't want to fight. I don't want to just give in to getting old. I'm sorry. I think that getting older, and sure, things change and slow down and everything, but I want to learn how to live in harmony with myself and and look in the mirror and love what I see every day, no matter what. And that's where I am. And it's a daily journey. And I'm not saying I wake up like, yeah, I'm so amazing and beautiful, like at all. It's literally like a day. I'm like, come on, what are you going to do? Come here. I love you. Let's do this. I'm not willing to give up on you. And this is a new language. And so it's like to love ourselves in the evolution, I think is so empowering and beautiful. So I love that for you. Yeah, see the way our sweet little protective inner little girl does whatever she can do to be safe. Like, whether it's like, oh, I'm not, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, if I just play small, then I know I'll be okay. If I don't really show that, if I make this story about, well, no one will really get it, or, I'm not really, then because that keeps us safe. And there's a part that's going, no more. It's not. And it's safe to finally let that part be seen. It's safe. And unless we know what that feels like in our bodies, we can't just think it. We cannot just think it unless we know what that feels like in our body. And we go, ugh. And sometimes it's being role modeled in this real life experience. Like for me, I truly believe one of the things that I'm here to do is teach people to get back into their freaking bodies. Why? Because I was a freaking professional dissociating. Through eating disorders, through self-betrayal, through being with men when I didn't want to be with saying yes when I said, all these things, like massive betrayal. And now I've come back where I have this sense of like, this is my temple, and not from a place of perfection and rigidity, from a place of like, I want to really be that. And it's like teaching that. And also, how do you be such an exquisite, emotional, like the feminine energy is chaos. She's wild. She's the storm. She's the unknown. She's creative. She's all this. How do you be that in this world? It's another thing that I've been really working on. It's like I want to not in the sense of where I'm not saying emotional and out of emotional control, that reactive. That's not what I mean. I mean in honor and in reverence of this exquisite part of me that literally you don't know what you're going to get when she's out. That said, there's this honor about her, and I don't feel that there's this one magical way to be in it. I think it's a discovery in who you be. And unless we feel, my experience is finding that sense of safety within my own life and with the people that I surround myself to let her be out in the world more, I'm finding that that's so much of where my personal freedom is coming from. And it's such an unknown. You're right. It's unknown. It's so much of this we don't have role models for. We're becoming the role models. And that is to me, we're the way showers. We're the ones we're the bushwhackers. But we don't have to do it alone. We don't have to do it by the old system of it's got to be hard and it's got to be sufferfest. We get to experience joy. We get to experience celebration. We get to experience intimacy and connection with other people. We get to be seen. We get to be loved. We get to be held. And we get to love ourselves in the process. That excites me, So I'm hoping that I'm so excited to see that you're like, okay, there's a call and I'm hearing it.